Hello, Whole Life Challenge players. Welcome to week 6, the final week in my exploration of the different styles of yoga. This week, I'm sharing one of my favorite go-to flows. You can come back to this class over and over again when you need to fit in a quick but effective yoga practice. And remember, you can do all of these 6 videos again and again, either to enhance your personal at-home practice or as a launch pad to dive even deeper into a particular style of yoga that resonated with you. Whatever you choose, I hope you enjoyed this series and learned something new about yoga and maybe about yourself as well. To begin, come right into all fours and stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Curl your toes under, and as you breathe in, draw the navel in, but let the chest open and expand. So you're coming into an up cat, so a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, down cat round, you'll pull your navel towards the ceiling, let your low back round, let your head drop, and your tailbone lengthens to the space between your knees. And I like to tell my students to try to do this exercise as if they're moving through water, so making it really slow and creating their own resistance. So as a swimmer, you'll already maybe be able to channel that a little better. Just flow on your own breath, breathing out, making that Halloween cat shape. As you breathe in, keep your core engaged, so don't let your low belly splay out, but really take the shoulder heads back and broaden across the chest. Good, just 2 more like that, just finding your own breath. Try to breathe in and out through the nose, making the inhales and exhales equal length. Just rippling through the spine. This is such a great warm-up for the whole spine, this simple cat-cow. Good. And then after the next time you breathe in, just curl your toes under. Press your seat high to the sky, and we're just gonna walk the feet to the front of the mat. Keep the feet hip-width apart. So you're just gonna be in a gentle forward fold at the top of your mat or wherever you're practicing. Keep the knees deeply bent and just clasp hold of opposite elbows for me. With the knees bent, let the crown of the head point straight towards the floor. I'll talk you through it so you don't need to look at the screen. You're just going to gently sway the upper body from side to side. See if you can inhale for a count of 3, maybe pausing at the top of the inhale for 3, and exhaling for a count of 3. And just letting the upper body dangle, maybe looking for a release in the low back. Make sure to keep the knees really bent. Good. And then just like in that cat-cow, as you breathe in, take your hands to your shins and extend as you draw the shoulders down and back into a flat back. And then as you breathe out, bend the knees, maybe slide the hands down the backs of the calves to fold. And we'll do 2 more like that. Inhaling, as you breathe in, the chest broadens. Bring your spine parallel to the floor. As you breathe out, bend the knees, melt forward. Really trying to elongate the inhale and exhale each time. Breathing in. Draw your shoulder blades down and back. Breathing out. This time as we breathe in, we'll circle the arms down, around, and up. It's almost like a reverse dive. You'll inhale. Breathe in, reach the palms to prayer above the head. As you breathe out, press the air away, stand taller. Good, hands return by the hips. Breathing in, look up, reach up. A little different this time. Interlace your hands for me, flip your knuckles towards me. I want you to bend your knees deeply and round, round, round. So take your chin into your chest. Press the knuckles forward. Really allow the chin to deeply move into your collarbone. We're looking for a stretch in the low back and the space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, inflate the space between your scapula, those shoulder blades on your back, with breath. Exhale all the way.
I'm just holding here 3 more big rounds of breath. We're just looking for a stretch in the whole back body. So imagine I punched you in the stomach, so you're deeply rounded in the low back and your chin is really dipped into the chest. This back line of the body can get really, really tight, and especially so if you swim. So we just want to find space between the shoulder blades, and we'll revisit this shape later. Last huge breath in, inflating the back with breath. Good, and then inhale, reach up. And exhale, just return the hands to either side. Good. Breathe in, reach the arms up. Again, imagine you're moving through water here. So you're kind of moving slow, creating your own resistance. Clasp the opposite elbows, just like we did when we were forward folding, except now we're standing upright. Micro bend your knees for me and make sure the feet are hip width apart. Now draw the shoulders down and back. Inhale, get tall. And exhale, you're just gonna side bend over. So you can do either side, you can mirror me, doesn't matter. And then you just wanna breathe into the side ribs that are kind of facing the ceiling. Send your breath into the side body, into the side ribs, as if your side ribs were like an accordion. You could open up with breath. Last big breath in here. Keep the core engaged. Good, and then gently come back up to center and you can straighten the legs. Once again, breathe in, get tall first. Exhale, micro bend the knees as a first step, and then tilt on over to the other side. Again, holding opposite elbows, looking for that side body stretch. And your gaze can be to the floor or to the ceiling, whatever's comfortable for your neck. Really use your powerful, strong inhales to inflate the side body with breath. So really visualize your torso expanding each time you breathe in. That side body stretching towards the ceiling. Good, and then gently come up. All right, we're gonna combo everything we've done so far in a dynamic stretch. That's actually one of my favorite things to do. It's a compass pose. People call it different things. That's what I call it. You're just gonna inhale. This time we're gonna side bend, same as before, but I want you to actually keep bending the knees and get as low as you possibly can. So you should feel some really juicy stretches on the side of the body. And then we're gonna take it into that forward fold we did. So it's like you're making a big circle if you had crayons attached to your elbows, and now we're in the forward fold. And then we're gonna come up around the other side. So bend your knees deeply. Take your body back into the side bend first. So you wanna be with your side body facing me or the screen, and then you're gonna slowly come up through a side stretch. Should feel really good, and back to center. We'll do that once more, and feel free to maybe speed it up or slow it down. So we move first high, and then we bend the knees, come into this deep, deep side stretch. Take the side stretch as long as you can, keeping the chest rotated towards the ceiling until the very last moment when you have to forward fold. Good, and then circle it up and around the other side, knees deeply bent. That's gonna help you get into the side body more. Nice, last one on this side. Bending the knees. Good, and then when we get to the top this time, we'll just take it to the other direction. So just switch whichever way you were going. And again, thinking of the side body, stretching for as long as it possibly can before you have to dip that elbow down to round. And I'll be quiet on this side, let you really feel into the stretch 2 more times on your own. Last one. Good. When you get to the top, you can just reach the arms back up and exhale, fold forward. Breathe in, half lift. Exhale, fold. And breathe in, circle the arms down, around, and up. And exhale, Press the air away, extend through all the fingertips. Good, take your hands to your hips now. You're gonna step your left foot back into a warrior two stance. So it's okay if you've never done warrior two before. You're just gonna line up your front heel with your back arch and then bend deeply into the front knee so that it's over the second toe. So your second toe should disappear in your vision. Inhale, reach the arms wide. I like this pose for swimmers because we're taking the hip into an external rotation, which is gonna warm it up for what we're gonna do in a few moments on the floor. Inhale, reach the right arm up, and you're gonna hold the right elbow with the left hand. This is option one. So this is gonna stretch into pec, deltoid, bicep. Press the head into the bicep, and then make sure your ribs aren't splaying open. I always like to think of closing the shutters of my ribs like I was wearing a corset. So if you're kind of splayed out here, see if you can pull it back. Now some of you may have a lot of range of motion in the shoulders. In that case, you can take the left thumb down, take it behind you, and actually clasp hold of the hand behind you. So either variation works. Just take 3 deep breaths here, pressing the head into the bicep, and the bicep into the head. Last deep breath. Good, and then gently release the arms. Straighten that right leg. Turn the right toes to parallel. Good, and then turn the left toes out so we can take warrior two on the second side. So bend that left knee deeply. Second toe should disappear in your vision. Front heel bisects back arch. Lengthen your tailbone down. Get established in the pose. And then adding on our arm stretch variation, left arm reaches up. Bend the elbow, hold the left elbow. And this is a great place to be. Sometimes for me, this variation of the stretch actually feels deeper and better. Of course, you always have the option to move on, right thumb down, so you get that internal rotation of the arm first as you take it behind you, and then you can clasp the hands behind your back. 3 deep breaths. Close the eyes. Just bringing all your attention to how full you can make your breathing, how much integrity you can have in the bicep stretch. Maybe pressing the head lightly back, drawing the ribs lightly in. Last 2. Last 1. Good, and then straighten the left leg. Turn the left toes to parallel. And then you can unclasp the hands if you haven't already. We're gonna do a different interlacing of the hands. So I want you to interlace your hands and try to get your heels of your hands touching, but you're gonna do that at your low back behind you. Turn the toes in and the heels out. So you actually wanna be slightly pigeon-toed, which might feel a little funny, but toes in, heels out. Inhale, get long first. And breathe out and fold. So now we're really just opening the hamstrings and the backs of the legs. And draw your shoulder blades up away from your head so your shoulders are yearning towards the ceiling. Reach your knuckles up towards the ceiling and then forward. So notice if your shoulders are kind of crowding your ears. See if you can draw the shoulder blades down and back. Tune into that oceanic sound of your Ujjayi breath, long inhales and exhales out the nose. 2 more rounds. Good, and then you can unclasp the hands, let them come to the floor. Inhale, find that flat back shape once again. Exhale, fold. Good. And then we'll slowly begin to just heel toe the feet towards one another. So the toes come in and the heels come in, so you can just safely bring the feet back underneath you. And then however you like, you'll just bend the knees and we'll come to sitting cross-legged together on the floor. So I'm gonna give 2 options. If you're new to yoga or you just think your hips are really tight and even just sitting like this is a little bit challenging, stay here. I just want you to feel a stretch in your hips. If sitting cross-legged, you don't even feel a stretch in your hips, there's a deeper variation. And you'll take your left knee behind your right knee, and then you'll sit back between the ankles. And this is a very deep hip stretch. So you can either just be cross-legged or you can be in this variation. And you can always prop your seat up with a block or some cushions you have at home, or maybe your towel if you're practicing near the pool, to make this more comfortable. So cross-legged or knees stacked. And you'll inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take the elbows down and back. So you're gonna cactus the arms like little goalposts, maybe look up. And then exhale, thread the right elbow underneath the left, and you're just gonna give yourself a big hug. So see if you can draw your fingers into your shoulder blades, and you can even give yourself a little self-massage here. Do that for a moment, and then bring the backs of the hands to touch. So in order to find the stretch, draw your shoulder blades down your back, even if it's just energetically. So if they're up here, see if you can imagine them drawing down and back. Good, and then energetically lift your elbows. So maybe they just lift a micro inch, but that can deepen the stretch along the scapula. And then from here, you might want to stay here and breathe. The other option is to lift the elbows and the chest just a little, maybe to deepen the stretch. And then as you breathe out, to really round and let the elbows melt into your belly button and let the head drop. Good, so you could inhale, lift the elbows up. And exhale, imagine you wanted to poke your navel with your elbows. So really let the chin dip into the chest. And visualize that stretch that we did at the beginning where we just rounded the back while we were standing. Now we'll exhale, and if you're rounding with me, I want you to channel what we did earlier, just stretching the whole back line of the body. So imagine I punched you in the belly, and your chin is deeply drawn in, and just breathe into the space of your shoulders, 3 breaths. Last breath. If you don't feel anything, really draw the shoulders down your back energetically and press your elbows into one another. Good, gently come back up. We'll just extend the arms now. This is one of my favorite things to do. You're just gonna flip the palms up to the ceiling, lift the chest, and exhale, thumbs down. Allow yourself to round once again. Good, breathe in, take the arms up. And exhale, press the air away. Good, just notice how your shoulders feel. And then we'll take it into the other side. So if you were cross-legged, you'll just take the opposite leg in front. And if you were doing, with me, the Gomukhasana stretch, this time you'll take the right knee behind the left to kind of back yourself into it. And again, prop yourself up. And one version isn't better than the other. As long as you feel a stretch in the hips, you're doing just fine. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, cactus the arms back. This time, thread left elbow underneath the right. And of course, we'll first take it into our hug. So you can just cross at the elbows, give yourself a little bit of a massage, dig your fingertips into that borderline, those wings of your scapula, and then up into the traps maybe as well. And then backs of the hands press if you're moving on. And of course, you can fully wrap wherever you are. Energetically draw the shoulders down and back, and you can stop off at any of the places I mentioned. With the shoulder blades energetically pushing down your back, think of your elbows slightly lifting, and it's like your arms want to flick apart. So there's a lot of energy between the hands, between the elbows. Otherwise, you won't feel the stretch. Good, and then if you like, inhale, lift the elbows up. Deepen that stretch. Exhale, really allow yourself to round. So hollow out the belly, chin into chest. And a few more dynamically on your own. Breathing in. And breathing out, elbows press into the navel. Chin drops. A few more. keep the elbows pressing into one another. So this shape is very taut. And then we'll just round. And visualize that very first pose, just opening the back line of the body. Shoulder blades widening apart from one another. Last two. Last one. Good. Come on up. Reach the arms apart from one another, parallel to the floor. And we'll just do our little finishing move. Inhale, rotate the palms up with the chest. Exhale, thumbs down, chin into chest, round. Good. And then reach the arms overhead. Hands come to prayer above the head, and exhale, fuse that prayer through heart center. Good. If the legs are crossed in Gomukhasana, just return to a simple cross-legged seat. We'll turn to take the soles of the feet to the mat. We'll reach the arms ahead of us, and we'll just roll down one vertebra at a time to the ground. And we'll close with our shavasana. We'll do a breathing exercise that I think is so great for swimmers because it actually expands your breath capacity, which would make it easier for you to hold your breath when you're underwater. Take one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. First, we'll just let all the air exit the body, and then fill up a third of the way. So feel the inhale come underneath the hand that's on your belly and pause. Fill up another third of the way. So you fill up your rib cage and the hand under the hand that's on the chest, and pause. And then inhale up as much as you can and pause. And then exhale all the way. So we just inhale in thirds. So inhale a third of the way and pause. Inhale 2/3 of the way, torso expands more, and pause. Inhale all the way, inflate the collarbones, pause. Exhale, it's okay to open the mouth, let it all go. 2 more like that, just inhaling, fill the belly with breath, pause. Inhale, fill the back body and the ribs with breath, pause. Inhale, fill the collarbones, the top of the chest, pause. Exhale all the way. Do this 2 more times on your own, and pending your breath capacity, you may be able to slow it down, or maybe you'll need to go a little faster as you inhale in thirds. On your own, breathing in, finding those pauses, breathing out completely. 2 more. Finish this next one. Just let the breathing technique go. You can rest your arms alongside the body, or keep one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Just take a few moments here in quiet relaxation, just noticing how maybe the backs of the legs and the shoulders feel compared to when you started the practice. I invite you to stay here as long as you like. Otherwise, you can gently wiggle the fingers and the toes with me. Pull one knee and then the other into the chest. Rock and roll on the spine, or roll to one side. Just press yourself up to a comfortable cross-legged seat, however feels comfortable for you. And then just bring the hands to prayer at heart center. Take a deep breath in. Fill up front body, back body. Exhale, nose or mouth. Once more, inhaling, inflating the whole torso three-dimensionally with breath. And exhaling all the way. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. So much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.